The following program is for adult audiences only.
This is
Eric and Gord. What if we're right?
Live right now.
Are you ready?
Find and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram.
But I should have it for tomorrow night. So do the season finale from a computer. That'll be exciting. And then we gotta figure out next week.
Yeah.
Hi. Happy Tuesday. March 8th, I believe.
9th.
2021. And I don't have an intro, but go to Facebook and watch the funny video I just sent Gord. It's funny.
Haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
It's from 2 years ago. It's good stuff.
Nice.
It's an anniversary video because tonight technically is the anniversary of our season finale. New season starts on March 18th. Hi, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling your friends. Thanks for paying attention for the last 2 episodes of the season. And then we take a little breaky poo. I don't think it'll be all the way till the 18th. I don't know. We'll talk. We'll figure it out. But then we're back. And I realized there's something I meant to talk about off the air. I may have to change the entire format of the show.
Yeah.
But I don't want to tell the people why.
Well, it'll be a surprise for me as it will be for you guys.
But there'll be no more Ian Gord sitting around going, I don't have anything ready. No, me either. No, let's just talk about our shoes.
So I bought a pair of shoes. Nobody wants to hear that. Shut up.
I think we've never talked about it. No, but we do have that one episode. Nobody gives a shit about your forklift because we just sat here talking about forklifts because we had nothing to talk about.
I mean, there's something to be said for a free-form conversation, but content still makes a difference.
It absolutely does. And that's actually a popular episode now. It's because our Indian fans are phenomenal and they'll apparently listen to anything. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so we'll see. Season 4 coming up. Going to be the best season ever. Going to be a lot more public engagement, a way better guests. All in all, just an all-star season we're looking forward to, but it's going to be different, and it's going to be interesting how we pull it off.
I'm excited.
I am too, because I think everything that I am unhappy with will go away.
It's certainly the hope.
I'm gonna miss talking to you every day, and but there's no reason we can't do that too, though.
No, I'm sure we can. I'm sure we will.
A podcast. I don't think we've ever done that, but we could if we wanted to.
We have.
But anyway, that's not for you guys to know. Just know that we're doing our best season ever. But now there's no more being late. There's no more being tired. There's no more like anything that annoys me. That will end, and that's good. I also think we'll get better quality guests if we just book one guest, and we have a whole week to prepare for that guest. And no more surprises, no more worries. I like that part.
No more me asking 2 minutes before we start the show. Hey, what's our guest name again?
That will absolutely still happen. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
It's probably having more guests. What podcast? The one we do every week? What week? What?
What are you talking about? Jesus. Leave me alone.
Do it the same day every week. Do what? What? Who are you? That's Cord. That's my impression of Cord, by the way.
And it's quite accurate.
had a lovely argument, in not completely unintended today, but on Facebook about COVID and the masks and the. Because I said it's not about the masks; it's about what they represent. It's about a corrupt government telling us what to do, and if we give them this one, then the next one's going to be a lot more uncomfortable than masks. I promise you.
Yep.
And some guy got back to me with, "Okay, you don't like wearing your mask? Well, take off your mask and go volunteer at a COVID ward and see how you feel." And I immediately responded, "Are you allowed to do that?" I would love to do that. That would be brilliant. That would prove my point in about 15 seconds. He's like, and he was saying how he works in the hospital because his first thing was, well, like when you see it up close and personal with people dying, you'll change your tune. I'm like, all right, what's your point of reference? He's like, I work there. I see it every day. And then he brought up this, you go volunteer without your mask. I was like, can you get me in? He's like, what? You work there?
Yeah. Get me in. I will happily volunteer. Get me in.
Oh, you don't work there. You're just trying to get brownie points on Facebook by playing the hero. I get it. Liar. Fucking so sick of the argument.
Yeah. The worst thing about it is that the especially with the Canadian government specifically, they had a plan put in place in case this ever happened. That was put in place after SARS. It's been in place for years. And what happened? The second this thing happened, the Trudeau, because it's his fucking government, threw the plan out the window, raised his hand and said, I don't know what to do. And we're just gonna wing it.
That's not just Canada. That's every country did that. That's an international plan. That whole pandemic thing.
Well, we had a very specific thing put in place, and that was a whole thing. It was set up by Canadian scientists. Speaking of what happened, and nope, they just said, fuck it. We're just going to wing it instead.
Stop coming at me with, oh, you just got to wear a mask for 20 minutes. Like, what a thing to bitch about. You got to wear a mask for 20 minutes while you're in a store. That's not what I'm bitching about. If this was just a thing being requested by individual business owners, please wear a mask in my business, I'd do it every time without shaking, without batting an eye. Absolutely, I would respect your wishes. You're some old guy running a corner store and you got this mask rule, whatever. I would not care one bit about that. I care about not having an option under an oppressive and corrupt government. That's my problem.
Right.
I don't care. You need me to wear a mask in your store? Fuck, if I go to a Japanese restaurant, I take off my shoes. I do all that kind of stupid shit.
When was the last time you ever walked in the store and complained and said, hey, what do you mean you won't serve me? I'm not wearing a shirt. There's a sign up front that says no shoes, no shirts, no service. Well, you have to serve me. It's my God-given right. No, it's the policy of the store. Get the fuck out. And you wear a shirt. If you're out walking around shirtless, you put it on, you walk into the fucking store.
The only time I ever challenged that was with the time I went into A&W with no pants. And then you could see me walk in with no pants, and then me and the manager yelling, and I'm screaming at him. It doesn't say anything about pants. I'm wearing my shirt. I'm wearing my shoes. Yeah. I'm following your orders. And then they got very mad and threw me out. Nori still has that video.
That's amazing. I'd love to get a hold of that video.
That was right here in beautiful. Actually, it's the A&W right by where I'm living now. Beautiful downtown Kelowna, Capri Mall A&W. The sign doesn't say anything about pants. It should say that. It just says shirt and shoes. Be more clear. It's hot outside. This is how I walk around when it's hot.
I don't believe in pants.
I still don't. Anyone listening? I told that lovely lady last night. I mandatory pants is just as bad as masks, in my opinion.
I never understood the shoes one. That one I never understood. Why?
I think it's just a hygiene thing. Feet are gross.
Yeah, but nobody's licking the floor. Nobody's, even if you are, somebody's bare feet is not anywhere more gross than what's going to be stuck in the treads of somebody's shoes that'll be dropped off.
Oh, buddy. You should see some feet out there. Toe funguses and nail funguses and all kinds of sickness.
I don't know. That was the one thing I just never understood.
A lot of those,
no shirt, no pants. Perfectly understandable. No shoes.
Why? Toenail infections that are all gross and fungusy and shit. Those are super contagious. So I think that's probably what it is.
But you're wearing shoes.
Yeah, but
so
wearing shoes, they're super contagious.
So in other words, so as long as you're not barefoot, then you don't have to worry about catching it.
Yeah, but you still don't want it on your floor.
I don't know. I don't see the issue.
MRSA can transmit, and MRSA lives on surfaces for like a week. And believe me, you don't want that shit. Hey, COVID victims, you don't want MRSA. Trust me. And that shit can jump on you from even if you have shoes. You don't even have to touch it. You just have to be near it and you can get it. That's terrifying.
Yeah, that is not something. I would take double doses of fucking COVID any day before fucking dealing with what the fuck you dealt with. No, thank you.
Oh, so would I. That was, I cried. I'm 41 years old, fucking crying by the fourth or fifth day because I just couldn't handle it anymore.
Oh.
By that point, I couldn't talk. I couldn't eat. I couldn't talk.
They took the wire brush to your face.
That was good times. I still have got a lovely scar. You can't see it. Look, I got a nice scar from that. Thank you, Dr. Pierce. Your ironic name.
Oh, that's just fucked.
That was fun. That was good times. Good memories.
Yeah. Fun times.
And then they decided to just sugarcoat it right in the middle of it all by giving me a false positive for HIV. Oh, by the way, you have AIDS. Oh, great. That's exactly what I need to hear right now. Let me just go tell my family. Okay, when you do, as soon as you're done telling your family, we'll tell you it was all false. Oh, good.
Thanks. You really know how to make a guy feel fucking great right now.
No, what made me feel great was when they refused to let me stay at the hospital, but I was crippled from the pain and my legs were so swollen I couldn't actually walk back and forth to the hospital. So I asked them for a taxi voucher, which I know they give out. And the nurse said, let me see what I could do. And she came back with some Tylenol and a cane. That's some good free quality healthcare we have in Canada.
So everybody who knows when they talk about free healthcare, just understand there's a difference between quality and quantity.
In Canada, our healthcare it's not free. It's cheap, I guess. It's I don't know what you say. What's the? I don't know.
Well, I mean, BC, you have to pay for your health card. Ontario, you don't.
Yeah.
So technically, Ontario, it's free for most procedures.
Well, you get what you pay for in BC.
Yeah, but you're also here. You have up to 3-year waiting lists to get in to get things done.
Yeah, that's insane.
So there's tons of people. Like I have a friend of mine who blew his fucking back out. He had been having back issues for years. So he fucked his back was his point. He was crippled. Really couldn't really do anything. In Canada, it was a 3.5-year wait list just to be able to get into not just to book the surgery. That's to book to meet the consultant.
Right. Yeah, my mom
to set up the surgery, and then it was another 5-year wait on top of that. So you're talking 9 years almost just to be able to finally get his surgery. He made one phone call because somebody had mentioned, no, call Germany. They specialize in this back surgery. He called Germany. He was on a flight within 2 weeks.
And they're now trying to make that illegal because they're saying it's unfair because, whatever, some people can't afford to do that or whatever.
Well, fix the system or allow people to go somewhere else.
I don't think it's unfair. If that's an option that's viable for you, it doesn't affect the Canadian medical system, you doing that.
No.
It sucks that I can't do that, but I don't think that's your fault, and I don't think you should be punished because I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's a different argument for having a 2-tiered system in Canada. I don't agree with that because all the best doctors will go work in the paid system where they get paid more.
That's right.
And they get paid faster. So if you have that set up, it just takes all the good doctors away. It's not, I don't care if you can afford to go to another country and get it done. Great, do that. If anything, that just frees up space in the line here.
Yeah.
But you bring a 2-tiered system here, all the best doctors go to that, and the people who need the free system get the shit doctors.
Yeah, absolutely. The
Um,
outdated equipment, the stuff that doesn't work right, the doctors
It's-
that miss things, the ones that don't even want to do their jobs right.
It's two totally different arguments. You can't use the same argument as because it's not. It's two different fights. So quit coming at me with the both of the. Oh, it's just like that. No, it's not. Fuck you.
Yeah.
If Gord can afford to go somewhere and get it done, or drive somewhere because he has a car and he can go to America and get it done or something, good for him. I can't do those things.
Yeah.
I don't think you should punish people for being wealthy. It's not. You did better than me. That's not your fault. That's not something you should feel bad for.
Yeah.
I hate this punish the wealthy bullshit. I'm
I
jealous.
the only argument I ever liked against the rich is saying no person should be a billionaire. When you hit $999,999,999.99, when you hit that, you get a plaque that says you're worth $1 billion. And then anything up and past that $1 billion could get because I mean, face it, you have $1 billion. You are not going to spend $1 billion in your lifetime.
So what? It's mine. I made it. I earned it. It's mine. This is where you counter that.
No, I don't have a counter for it. I'm just saying it's the only argument in the sense. It's not even an argument. It's the only suggestion. I thought, well, if you're going to do something to quote unquote punish the rich, that's about as far as I could say, sure, whatever. But Lord knows if I'm at the situation where I'm looking at my bank account and I'm thinking, okay, so my net worth is worth 900 million. And then all of a sudden, a year later, I went from 900 billion to 900 million to 7 billion. But I'm still looking at 900 million. I'm going to be a little bit frustrated and pissed off with the fact that I'm putting all this effort and doing all this stuff and I'm not getting the money back that I've earned and I put my life into.
Well, you're still getting it. It's still your money. Just that much money doesn't actually exist. So
yeah,
you can't have it all at once. But it's your right as a rich person to keep making and earning and earning. And if you go, well, you're never going to spend that much. So what? I want to die with it. Bury me with it. Every fucking dollar.
Yeah.
It's mine. I want it just so you can't have it.
It makes no difference what I do with it and what happens. Just because you can't be bothered and you want a handout does not mean that I'm not allowed to make as much as I can.
You can't take it with you. No, I can't. Actually, it's in my will to burn it on the day I die.
Just like Joker and Batman, I'm just gonna burn it.
Right in front of you. Right in front of all y'all on national TV. Look at Elon Musk. He lost like $27 billion this week or something like that.
Yeah.
He actually had a good day yesterday. A lot of it came back, but that poor guy, if he was stuck at $1 billion, he'd be worth nothing.
Like, that's just it. If you have this thing, if you put a cap on your net worth, it can't be more than $1 billion. And then your value of your business clears 28 billion. And then that loses, you're in the hole for $27 billion now. Well, that's not fair.
But Elon Musk is not his company. Just like I am not the Champion Tree Entertainment Company. Champion Tree Entertainment Company could lose $1 million tomorrow. Eric Hunt doesn't lose. He's not part of the. That's two separate entities in the eyes of the law.
What Gord doesn't know is that Eric has my name listed as the one who's the owner.
Oh, if I could.
It'd be like back in the 30s and shit when rich old tycoons would have like a parakeet would be the one who's actually listed as the owner of the company.
Yeah, I can't do that. If we ever had some money though, you'd totally have a company car and all, like your car is a company car and all kinds of stuff. You
So
also
if we
wouldn't
could
get
all
a,
invest in the champion tree, that'd be great. Ford needs a new car.
you also wouldn't get a salary. You would get an award every year for attendance or something.
That's cool.
An award for being the best co-host, a scholarship possibly set up for you. Because if I give you an award,
Mm.
I don't pay taxes on that money. On the whatever money I give you, I don't pay taxes on, and you don't pay taxes on an award.
Ah.
If I give you a salary, I have to pay taxes on it. On that money that I've earned, I have to pay taxes on, and you have to pay taxes on it after you get it. But we it's tax free if it's an award for you,
I like that.
or like a perfect attendance. If you get perfect attendance, you get 50 grand at the end of this year.
Well, we certainly both know that I wouldn't get that.
That's why I was offering initially an unpaid internship.
Yeah.
But if you did really good in your internship, you might get $32,000 at the end of the year. That's the good intern award.
That's right.
Or whatever you call it. There's many different ways to do it, but save you a tremendous amount of taxes. Being corporate is great if you're making money.
Yeah. That's as long as you're making money.
It's meaningless if you're not making any money. People go, oh, but you can write off all your stuff. No, you have to have some sort of income to write it off against. You can't just write shit off. You have to make some money and then you get to write stuff off.
Amazing concept, isn't it?
You can't write off nothing from nothing. You 0 minus 0 is always 0, no matter how you work it out.
Have you heard, Eric? I don't know if you've heard this. Have you heard that there's a group of hardcore liberals that are trying to claim that math is racist?
How is math racist?
Math is racist because of two things. Number one,
It was started in India, so yeah, that makes it very racist. Right, but
it was started under the oppression of others,
no,
and you'll love the other one. The other one, and this was an argument that was brought up on a news broadcast with, I mean, keep in mind, the person that's making this claim is like a fucking 18-year-old fucking, or maybe a 20-year-old fucking college student
who doesn't know math, clearly.
who doesn't know math at all. But she claimed, and because the lady in the interview said that, you say that math is racist, and so why do you say that? And she goes, because there's no room for alternative belief or facts, therefore that makes it racist. She goes, so wait a second. She goes, so you're saying that you're saying that 2 + 2 = 4, and if somebody says no, the answer is 5, you're supposed to accept the answer of 5? She goes, yes, because you don't know if it could be 5. You don't know this.
I agree. It could be. I've said from day one, math is not technically. Math has never been proven.
Math is an absolute until it gets proven wrong. Like everything, it's an absolute until it gets proven wrong.
1 + 1 may not equal 2. That is a possibility. As I say, E might not equal MC². It makes sense right now, but it may not. And math could be wrong. I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it ever will be proven to be, but it could be. Philosophically, yes, it could be wrong. That still doesn't apply to race in any way.
Thank you for that, because the same argument that Eric said, I said that to. I had a buddy of mine who was used to say this. We used to have this argument all the time. I'm like, look, everything advances with knowledge, and as far as we know, Brady said, right now we are saying that math is 1 + 1 = 2. Well, there are scientists working on the theory that 1 + 1 = 3, and if that's true, everything you know about math is wrong. Every single thing, every theory, it's all wrong. Yeah.
200 years ago, cold was a liquid. Cold was a liquid that flowed. When you open the door, it flowed in. It was an invisible liquid. And that was accepted. Lamarck's theory of if your parents worked out, you would have muscles. The inherited traits theory that predated Darwin. That was accepted. That was Darwin proved it wrong, and then Darwin was right. But maybe Darwin's wrong. But Lamarck was right. Then Darwin was right. Next time someone else will be. I don't think math is wrong. Let me preface it with that. I don't think it is. But you have to accept the possibility that it could be. Even Einstein said that.
Yeah. But as Eric very clearly stated, that has nothing to do with race.
Math predates race. Math predates God.
Math predates everything.
We had a concept of math before we had a concept of a higher power. Math came before Cosmocrator, which was the first inception of a higher being. Like long before God, long before the Sumerian, whatever it was, there was Cosmocrator, which was it's a stupid theory and it's weird. But it took math to get to that. We would have no God without math. Not that would be a bad thing, but math predates race. We were coming up with math before we came up with races.
Yeah.
We were still shaving our hair and getting out of the trees.
It's true.
We were monkeys. Before we were cavemen, we were coming up with math.
Now, being that all that said, there's one big thing you need to keep in mind. Until it gets proven that math as we know it is wrong and a new form of math comes into play, the question is 2 + 2 = 4. That's the answer. Unless if you have a way to prove it otherwise, which you don't, because you're blaming it on race, that proves you don't have a theory. You're just a fucking idiot. If you get the question wrong, it's because you failed to pay attention and you failed to study and you failed to learn it. Plain and simple.
Just because you don't get them, it doesn't make it wrong and it's against you in some way. You're stupid. Learn.
If you don't learn one new thing every day, you're failing in life.
I just don't get this new concept. Oh, I don't get it, therefore it must be wrong. And it all has to be changed. No, you're stupid.
Yeah.
This what when I was young and you didn't get a concept, they fucking held you in school until you got it. I had friends who could buy beer before they graduated high school.
Mm-hmm. Now they give you an award for it.
Now, well, they don't have to because they don't give out grades.
Yeah.
How do we know who the stupid ones are if we don't give out grades? That's how we knew if you were dumb or smart. You got a letter grade. The D stood for dumb. The A stood for smart. Should have been an S, really.
It really should have been.
D didn't stand for dumb. Because we had E. E was way worse.
Yeah, I only got that once.
And then you got an N. After that, you got an N, I think it was.
NA.
NA. Yeah, just like, which was meant, because they didn't do F, because F was offensive.
Yeah. Fuck. F was too easy to change to an A.
They gave you NA. Yeah. You know what NA stood for? F.
Yeah.
You can't say F. So we said NA, but everyone knew what NA was. We weren't dumb back then like we are now.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I
tried harder because you're like, fuck, this is embarrassing. I don't want to be held back anymore. I better pay attention next year.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, oh, what? One kid didn't get it? We better change the whole fucking system. Math doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because little Jimmy doesn't get it. Well, then little Jimmy's going to hand out papers at the train stations for the rest of his life.
Yeah. And that's okay because we need them.
Somebody has to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. Not everybody's allowed to be a rock star.
No. Not everyone is a computer scientist.
Yeah.
Some people have to work at A&W. I need my buddy burgers.
The vast majority of people on the planet, you are going to be working jobs that, A, you never thought you'd ever work. B, you're probably not going to overtly enjoy, but you need money in order to survive in today's society. If you want to be part of today's society, you need money, which means you have to get a job, which means you will take whatever job you can get, and you're just going to do it. It's just that simple. And that's the way life will go.
Jobs.
It's no big deal. Move on. If I'm not satisfied. That's why you have a personal life outside of your job. That's your satisfaction.
That's the guy who cleans the porta potties at the fucking county fairs. Someone has to be that guy. That's why we have letter grades, so we can pick that guy.
So we know where he goes.
You're not going to be on Elon's mailing list, but
you might clean his trash out one day, though. So
and someone has to. That's a respectable job.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that happens under an Eric and Gordon government. We bring back trades. First of all, we put shop classes back. We put wood shop back. We put classes that give you respectable jobs. And we start focusing on the trades and reminding people, all you fucking snotty rich fucks, who the fuck comes and fixes your toilet? Who comes and fixes your sink and fucking even fixes your computer?
Builds your cars, fucking builds your houses. Makes the materials that you have so these workers can do this stuff.
Every time you're in your big fucking office building and it doesn't fall down, that's one of us dumb construction workers. Should be thanking us every fucking day. We should be fucking worshipped every time a building doesn't fall down.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
that's right.
Pieces of crap. Tell me math is racist. Math built the fucking house you're sitting in, making up these stupid whiny complaints, you faggots.
If it wasn't for math, you wouldn't be on fucking TV fucking yipping off saying that math is wrong. So shut the fuck up.
I don't get it. Try to cancel me, kids. You just try to cancel me.
And this is one thing that I'm terrified that's going on in the U.S. and what you hear about, Canada's not so much. They've all given up on it. But when people are really going against this, the whole anti-abortion thing, no. Because when your argument is you could be killing the one person that's going to cure cancer, sure. But then what about the 6 million fucking degenerates that you're fucking creating because they're in unwanted families? Get the fuck out of here.
Opening Roe v. Wade, they found a way to do it. It won't come to Canada, I don't think. I think they'd be stupid too, but in the States, you're right. I do like that one t-shirt that you could get for babies. It says, "Now that I'm okay, I'm pro-choice."
Yeah. So good.
Which is, I guess, in a way, kind of true.
Oh,
I wouldn't be as pro-choice if I weren't born yet. I'd be like, please be anti-abortion.
Yeah.
If I were a fetus, I would be anti-abortion, probably.
Yes.
But I don't get that argument whatsoever.
The argument. Which argument?
Against abortion. I don't see. And I'm not even pro-abortion. I'm not pro-abortion in any way. I wish it didn't happen.
No.
I wish there were other ways that were better. There are not.
No, there aren't. Because the alternative solutions that exist nowadays are much worse.
Oh, very much. Very much.
Like,
I could have, if it were not for abortion, I would have a child who would be 24 years old right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if I do the math correctly. Yeah, he would be 24 years old and a few months right now. And he would be a giant piece of shit because I wouldn't have been there. His mom certainly wouldn't have taken care of him very well. He would be a drain on our society. He or she.
Yeah.
Although if it was a she, she'd probably be very good looking and be a tremendous whore and support herself that way. So great. Either it would have been a life without rights. I don't believe in the right to life movement, and I don't believe in the right to a life with no rights. It would have been a shitty kid with shitty parents and now be a shitty adult. Yeah. It just cost us all money and probably hurt us in some way or another. And it's just, I don't get how that's better in people's eyes.
Well,
probably get taken by the church and then get raped by the same people. That's why they want babies, just so they can fucking rape them. Sick fucks.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's like the same argument for the animal rights activists that are saying, like, sheep shouldn't shouldn't be shorn and they shouldn't be held captive. And then they also, you know what happens if a human doesn't shave a sheep nowadays? The sheep will die. Because unlike natural sheep before humans use them for consumption, because they've been genetically modified up until what they are now, they used to lose their own fur on their own. Now they do not. They're genetically modified to produce more fur so that they have to be shaved. If they don't, it becomes a burden on them. They can't walk, they can't eat, they can't do anything. They die and they live a horrible life. So you can sit there and... What's that?
Finish your point. I'll say.
So you can sit there and you can argue these fact of like, well, the baby has a right to live. Fantastic. And it also has the right to live in a well-built and a well-established home and in a, and in a loving family. If that cannot be provided, then you are just raising another bastard on the fucking system.
I think you should have to take one. If you stand outside an abortion clinic and you protest it, then you just signed on, buddy. You get my kid when it's born.
Yep. Oh, and that's the thing. That is one of my favorite back arguments for that. It's as simply as like every time somebody stands up and they say, I think abortion is wrong. How many children have you adopted from your own country? How many? Well, I haven't. Then shut the fuck up.
Well, now you have to.
You have to. You have no choice. You have to. You need to be a part of the solution.
We should get a baby and go force it on a pro-lifer. Here you go. You signed on for this.
You signed on. Hand it to him. Here you go.
Check on the welfare of this child every week. And if there's something wrong with it, you will be punished to the full extent of the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care of this child that you forced into the world. Oh, I love the Eric and Gord platform on pro-choice.
Yep.
I didn't even know that was our platform, but we just wrote it. Vote Eric Gord 2023. I like the thought. We should do that for the animal rights activists. Yeah. Let's let them live in a town where cows roam free. We just let cows go. See how much you like that town, you weirdos. You know how much this country would suck if we just let livestock go?
Yeah, it'd be called India.
Next year no, they don't have cows.
They got cows that walk around everywhere.
The Indian cow is not like the Canadian cow.
Oh, nowhere close.
But no, they don't have a tremendous amount of them. It's not like your cows. You know how much our country would suck if there was wild cows everywhere?
It'd be insane.
If they could eat us, they would.
Yes.
And
they got multiple stomachs to do it.
Animal rights. I'm all for animal rights too. I don't want to be cruel to an animal.
No.
Not one bit. And if there's some slaughterhouse that does it in a bad way, absolutely, they should be punished.
Without a doubt.
But I'm not for cruelty to animals, but we're meant to eat them. If humans hadn't evolved the way we did, we would still be a creature that ate other animals.
Yeah.
I don't get it. What you can't protest animals eating animals. That's stupid.
I just love, but the argument for that is well, that's nature can be cruel. We don't have to. That's the line that they use for those.
I totally agree. Although we are far more cruel in our daily lives than animals could ever purport to be.
Yeah. Almost aside from monkeys, animals kill out of necessity. And that, very few animals kill for sport.
None. Not a one.
I think
if you're being threatened or you're hungry.
Yeah.
No other creature kills for sport.
No.
But beyond that, creatures don't mock each other.
Yeah.
Creatures don't steal from each other. Creatures don't take another creature's wife. There's a million things that we do that's way more cruel than anything animals do to each other.
Yep. Yeah, I fully agree.
Listen to the Pearl Jam song Rats. Absolutely brilliant. Describes it perfectly why rats are better than humans. But it applies to any animal. They just happen to say rats. But
I couldn't imagine a scenario where they wouldn't be better than humans. Humans are horrible.
They don't push, don't crowd, don't congregate until they're much too loud. Fuck to procreate until they are dead, lie in their homes with the dead man's bread. It's good.
Yeah,
It's a good
I
song.
like it.
Great song. Good Versus, second album, 1994, I believe. Here's a little Pearl Jam for you kids.
There you go.
Listen to them. They're good. If you don't know them, young people, Indian people, go listen to them. They're great. Where were we?
I have a bunch of world news if you want it.
Eat babies and save little cows. I think that's what we got to. Good.
I think that's what we're up to, yeah.
The Indians don't like it.
Oh, man. I'm not even...
Oh, yeah, math. Math isn't racist. That's the point. Go to hell.
Yeah, that's right. That's yeah. I'm not even sure where to even start with news. Let's start with... All right, let's start with this one. Egypt. So apparently there's a pedophile that was caught on a CCTV camera that got released online on social media, and people have been wigging out. It's a guy that was diddling a fucking girl in a fucking stairwell, and the whole thing was caught on video. So the police have caught the guy. They officially caught him and everything else, so they're going to fucking, they're going to charge him for sexual assaulting of a child. Now, the interesting thing is according to the Egyptian Penal Code, the maximum penalty for sexually assaulting a child is 7 years in prison.
That sounds about right.
7 years.
Now, in Egypt, they have the option to marry the child, and then it's not illegal.
I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure that is specifically set more to India, not to Egypt.
Just wondering.
No.
If they have a similar thing, but I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Not at least not that I'm reading on this one. That is a thing that is with India.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good work on social media, I guess, for bringing this to light and getting this piece of dirtbag guy off the streets for 7 years if he gets convicted. Sure. So I guess way to go.
7 years in an Egyptian jail is not a pleasant 7 years.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't imagine that'd be any good at all.
I wonder how many people who are sentenced to 7 years actually get out of jail or
6.
die in that 7 years.
6.
Yeah, that could be a death sentence for all I know in an Egyptian jail.
And I'm okay with that. I really am.
Absolutely. Maybe that's all they need. Like here, a life sentence is 20 years. Maybe there, all you need is 7 because you probably die.
If you manage that 7 years, you will come out a changed person.
You're a god.
You don't want to go back.
No, I would imagine not. I don't even want to think what it's like in a Sharia, a country that has Sharia law. That their jails are probably spectacular.
Oh, I'd have to assume so. Yeah. Now there's an interesting article here, Eric, on the on Fukushima.
Yeah, you mentioned that. But now it's now a theme park. You can go tour it and taste it.
Have you ever wondered what radiation tastes like? Come try our water.
Don't eat the ice cream at Fukushima theme park.
All the water is bottled by Nestle, so it's all good. That's not true before we get sued. So just so everybody has an understanding, it's been 10 years since that tsunami hit, and it's still leaking. It's still pumping out radiation into the fucking water.
Only a little bit. 107 tons a day or something.
Something like that. 165,000 residents were evacuated. There's still 37,000 people listed living that are hang on a second here. Decapitation efforts have meant most areas have been reopened and people are allowed to return to their homes, but there's still nearly 37,000 people listed as Fukushima evacuees, and many of them say they have no intention of ever going back.
No, right? If you were, would you trust it?
No.
Go home. Maybe I won't.
Some of the stuff here, they were finding playgrounds with the lowest levels of radioactivity in the area, because every year they have to have their children screened for thyroid cancer.
Yeah.
So that's nice. You know, how's the radiation level? Oh no, I gotta wait till next year till I test my fucking neighbor's kid. All right.
Only country that suffered a nuclear attack. No other country in the world has ever had a nuclear attack on it.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, ever.
And you just think they might react a little more harshly to this.
Yeah.
Like, you could go to Nagasaki and see where the people's shadows are still stained on the wall from the flash, where the shadow gets burned into the wall.
Yeah. Fuck, that's insane.
You could still go there and see that. You think they just might, maybe they're like, oh yeah, look, we're fine because of that. So now we're not so scared of Fukushima. I don't think so, though.
No.
Just disgusting how they've handled it. I don't get it. What else you got? I want to hear more about this. 37,000 people.
So you got 37,000 people that are saying not gonna do it, not coming back.
People, by the way.
Sean Burney, he is a senior nuclear specialist for Greenpeace Germany.
That doesn't sound very Japanese.
No, but he said that even now, radiation levels in many parts of the former exclusion zones remain uncomfortably high. Quote, the level of contamination is such that if these radiation levels were found in a laboratory inside a controlled nuclear facility, it would require intervention from at least the plant management and would have to be closed off and decontaminated. That's if it was in an enclosed building.
But it's
and
okay.
This is but you can go. And this is across a 40-kilometer stretch of beach or water edge from families. But no, it's no big deal. But they're saying here, like, no, as long as you have that level of contamination in an uncontrolled environment, the forest, the hills, riverbanks, the farmland, you cannot say the situation is under control from a radiological perspective. It is just not possible.
And we have noticed radiation in British Columbia that's made it across the ocean.
That's right. It's hit Alaska. It's hit BC. It's
not
hit the shores.
Enough to be scared of by any means. But the fact that it's there means this shit needs to be cleaned up.
That's right.
It's not going to get better.
It's insane. They're doing a lot of studies on gender and radiation. And they're finding now that women are more susceptible to cancer caused by radiation than men.
I thought you were going to tell me there's a bunch of radioactive trannies or something.
Well, we don't know what'll happen. Just saying.
That's not an argument this show is making. That transgenderism is a result of Japanese toxic radiation.
What I hate about the world is the fact that this has to be stated. What I hate about the world is that this has to be stated. So, like I said, there's evidence. There's a lot of evidence suggesting that women may also be more susceptible to cancer caused by radiation than men. Quote, males get cancer. It's not that radiation is safe for them. Do you really need to clarify that? Because if you do, I think the world needs to end.
So what's I guess the inference is that certain types of cancer, possibly ovarian, are more caused by radiation than prostate cancer is, sort of thing.
Basically, yeah. It affects women in different areas faster, where men it seems to be a little bit more limited to certain areas.
You know why? Because men and women have different parts internally.
Stop it. No, they don't. They're all the exact same.
Some people don't know that today, but men and women are different physiologically. And see, this is one way to prove it. Certain types of cancer attack women differently than men. So if you identify as a man, you may still get these woman cancers.
Yes.
And you might be confused about that, but in Japan, they're not.
Not at all. The craziest thing here is that 10 years after the disaster, life has pretty much returned to normal in many parts of the Fukushima prefecture.
Let me just put an asterisk on that statement. That's Japan normal, not the rest of the world normal.
They've cleaned it up enough to say that there's few, if any, visible signs that the nuclear accident ever occurred. But that literally, as Eric puts it, so you guys can't see, Eric really just dropped his head in frustration. I don't need to surprise you guys, but again, this is where math and science come in handy. You can't see radiation.
There's little visible signs that the meltdown happened. You can't see that it was ever. Yeah.
Look, it's fine. There's a tarp over it. Fuck.
Barely see it.
You barely. It wasn't a big deal.
That's at the Olympics. It's fine. Oh God.
And I just love the fact that, and they're still trying to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. I would really be way more terrified of the fucking radiation than COVID any day.
Don't worry about COVID right now. Clean up the 10 years of radioactive waste. People in Chernobyl must be fucking howling.
Oh, they have to be.
Lord. How do you I don't understand. In a country that size, literally the size of Vancouver Island, but millions of people. One of the most densely populated countries in the world. They just, for 10 years, they've just been dumping 170 tons of nuclear waste into the ocean every day. Well, no, they didn't. They stored it up and did it all at once last year, but
yeah.
I just don't get why the world isn't doing something about it. If Japan isn't, has anyone offered and Japan's refused help or something? Like,
yeah, no, Japan has directly told the whole world, we will take care of it. We are on top of it. We don't need your help. They have shut people out.
I don't like your idea of on top of it. This doesn't seem like you're on top of it.
No.
You just keep dumping it into the ocean. That doesn't make you on top of it.
Now, in that bay where Fukushima power plant was, if they had built a massive wall and blocked that entire inlet out from the rest of the ocean, I'd be willing to take them a little bit more seriously. But they didn't. They just let it flow because, well, it's leaving our shores.
Now, I know that didn't work really well for BP with their oil spill. They kept trying to put concrete around it underwater and it didn't work, but they kept trying.
Yeah, they made an effort.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
10 years. And how are there people not like, I'm sorry, but if within a week after that natural disaster, if I'm not seeing progress of stopping the flow within 1 week, I'm starting to riot.
Well, I'll give them the week because it was a horrible tsunami that destroyed that country. If you've seen videos,
it's insane.
Goddamn terror. I wanted to cry the first time I saw the videos. It's just the worst nightmare. I couldn't imagine what it felt like because it goes slow enough that you see that wall of water coming at you and destroying everything in its path.
Yep.
I just, they were truly disturbing images and my heart sank and I felt so terrible for those people. I can't even imagine what the recovery effort must have been like. There's so many people in such a small area that,
So let's move it out. Let's even move it out. Let's move it out to a year.
Give them a year. After that, you're fine. You're kind of fine.
You've lost all argument at that point.
Yeah. In 10 years, you're Japan. You solve everything. You fix things. That's what your country does. You take our shitty shit, you make it better, and you sell it to us for way more money.
Yeah.
You should be able to do this. You're the smartest people in the world. You invented Nintendo.
You're the only country that ever dealt with radiation poisoning, like in a large scale. Like you got Chernobyl in the Ukraine, and you've got Fukushima, or you got Japan, which got leveled by 2 nuclear blasts. So,
see, Chernobyl shouldn't have ever happened. Chernobyl shouldn't have been built. Is the problem with Chernobyl? They built it out of ancient shitty crap. They knew it was going to be a tremendous failure, but they were trying to prove they were better than America by having a nuclear plant.
Yeah,
but it was very questionable to begin with. Japan's very technologically advanced. They're not like that. They should have had a better plan in place for a meltdown. Not that you could plan for a tsunami. I get that. You're also a very tiny nation that's pretty prone to tsunamis. You think you'd have a bit of a contingency, but
be that as it may,
you should have come up with something by now. Like, I get progress goes slow in your country because you still got to do that 3-hour fucking tea ceremony before you agree on anything. You could probably let that go too, just while we're on the subject.
Just mentioning that.
Certain traditions you could just let go. Like, I don't get it.
It's insane.
I don't get years. You have the fastest train in the world, but you still got to stop and have a tea ceremony. You know how many people die from bowing every year? It's retarded. They bow and they bang heads, and accidents occur, and people die. It's stop with the bow, handshake like normal people. Some traditions need to be let go. But they got now. On the other hand, I give you guys credit because you got those guys in the white gloves that push the people onto the trains. Oh, those guys go home happy every day.
Oh,
Most satisfaction of any job ever. You go to work in a bad job is just cram fuckers into that train as hard as you can. Those guys love their job. There's no stress leave from that job.
Need to take a sick day? Nope.
Nope.
I can work through that.
Happier than any that. Oh God, I'd give anything to have that job.
You know, Eric, you've been working here now.
Watch some YouTube videos. Just put white Japanese commuter train. They put on their lovely white gloves so they don't get your clothes dirty, and then they shatter your fucking limbs pushing you into this train. Oh, I love it. How do you get off? At your stop?
The doors. I think what happens is when the doors open, people that are leaning against it roll with the door, and it creates like this motion that they move out of the way, and then people just fall out.
You're 70 people deep at that point. Like, how do you get? No one probably gets off at their stop. You just ride around on that train
until there's enough room that you can get wedged out with the rest.
Oh my God. But watch these videos tonight, kids. If you don't know what we're talking about, just the Japanese commuter train video. Oh, those guys are so happy every day.
And they all got massive smiles on their face too. Like, they are happy guys and they're doing this shit.
They probably have competitions. I guarantee they do. Wait, I can get one more. Oh, I love it. They're the best. That's just
lots of room
to me.
Oh man, oh, that's so good. The other biggest news that's going on that everybody's talking about.
Why is this not the biggest news around the world? Why are Gordon and I the only ones I ever hear talking about this? Fukushima should be front page news every day, everywhere.
Yeah.
Right after COVID, it should be Fukushima still happening.
Yeah. It's still leaking.
Because the last episode of our show I listened to was, I don't remember when it was, but the introduction I did was, tonight's episode is brought to you by Fukushima. Yeah, that's still happening.
And that was probably a year ago. Oh man. But
That was
instead of that being the focus of the news, one of the biggest things that everybody's talking about right now is the fact that what the comments that Meghan Markle had to say about the Queen.
Jesus Christ.
Now, without getting into that one, the reason why I'm bringing this up, Eric, is because of Pierce Morgan.
Oh, fuck.
Because
That
he
suggestion, by the way. That's a suggestion, not a name. Someone needs to pierce that guy.
yeah, I agree. He walked out on his TV show.
Oh, big loss.
Because they were talking about, she was talking about this, and he went on a huge tirade. He freaked out, yeah, because if for those that don't know,
I don't know, so
he's on Good Morning Britain, and that's his thing that he does a morning show with on called Good Morning Britain, and he was
on CNN. If you guys don't know, used to be the British guy on CNN. He's very opinionated and very crap.
Yeah. So yeah, he is basically just said, like he's just sort of just threw Meghan and Harry under the bus, just saying.
Is that what it was? Is he pro royal? He's pro Queen.
Very pro Queen.
Anti Megan. Okay,
yes.
I didn't know what side he was on.
Yeah,
because I don't pay attention to the man or the story for that matter. But
yeah.
I have no idea which side he was coming from. But I did hear very peripherally about this. So he's pro Queen and anti Megan.
Yes, very much so. And anti-Harry, too, because he's just like, fuck you. You walked away from the palace. You have no right to open up your mouth and talk about them in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely, yes, he does. He's still their grandkid.
But what I love about like the fact that all this is going on is that Harry has stood by his wife's side and, get it out. You want to tell the people about it, but what's going on in that fucking family? Go ahead. Tell them. He's not shying away. And for me, that's what this should be about, is about supporting your
there's two
significant other
for that. Number one, he's been told from the day he was born, you will never be king. William's king. You're not king. You'll never be king. So he's like, fuck you then. Like when he was old enough to figure it out, he went, fuck this shit. Plus, Meghan Markle's crazy hot and she touches his penis.
Yes.
I would stand by her too. So Harry, I've always been a big Harry supporter. I think we're roughly the same age. He might be a bit younger.
I'm not sure how old he is.
But I think I'm about William's age. So Harry's a little. I gotta look that shit up, and I can't do it right now because I'm having technical difficulties. But yeah, we're roughly the same age. But I've always been a fan of Harry. I've always liked him. My family are royals. They're royalists, whatever you call them. My mom's a very big fan. The royals were a big thing in my household. I've always had to follow them. Those kids were rock stars when we were young because we had Backstreet Boys and New Kids, and we didn't have rock stars for a while there. It was a rough go. So me and Harry were the rock stars for a while. These were in the bad, like Maestro Fresh West days. But
phenomenal rapper, by the way.
And I've always liked Harry. When Harry wore the Nazi costume to his party,
oh, so
good stuff, buddy. And he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah,
he did it on purpose, and good on you. If you know that you could just be a piece of shit and your whole country is gonna freak out, why wouldn't you be a badass?
Yeah.
I love it. That's how you get a Meghan Merkel later in life. So kids, follow Harry.
Girls like bad boys with money.
I just saw her on. I was watching just a YouTube thing, but I saw her on like Craig Ferguson or something back before she was married to him.
Yeah.
and she was super hoary. It was awesome. Just like flirting with Craig Ferguson and being all flirting with the audience, just like super. She was an American fucking TV star. What do you expect? But good on you, Harry. Keep it up and don't fucking listen to Piers goddamn Morgan. Who gives a fuck? You don't get an opinion because you're on the British version of CNN.
No, just one of the things that caused outrage with this was that one of the things that Meghan Markle talked about was how close she came to suicide from dealing with the royal family and how she was treated by them and how she was portrayed by how they allowed her to be portrayed in certain lights and how they spoke about her and how she was treated.
So did Diana. Diana was very famously suicidal. They just killed her before she got around to it.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Now, when they talked about this, one of the things that Piers Morgan said, he goes, yeah, she says that. Yeah. Like kind of blew off the fact. And he was sort of outspoken. And that's one of the things that he did in his little rant was saying, you know, oh, get over yourself sort of bullshit and everything else. And really, and so when he stormed off the set, the TV show got over 41,000 complaints saying that Piers is a fucking asshole.
I think, my honest opinion, Piers Morgan is a WWF character. I think he will do whatever it takes to get attention and get a row out of people. I don't think he believes a word that comes out of his own fucking mouth. He's just trying to rile people up and get ratings for his show. And the fact that Gord and I are talking about him right now means he's doing a good job. Because never in my life would I have a reason to talk about Piers fucking Morgan.
No. And we've never even talked about him on the show before.
No, because he's not worth our fucking attention. But he's winning this round.
This one he wins.
Talking about him. I don't think he believes anything. And I don't know how he feels about Meghan Markle for real, but he would say that just because his station would get 40,000 complaints.
Yeah.
And they're not going to fire him for it because they got 41,000 people's ratings that day.
Yep.
Fuck the royal family and all this. Oh, you can't say anything because you left. No, yeah, he's still part of the fucking family.
Yeah.
And if they all die, he's still king.
That's right.
You can't take royalty away. It's by blood, you retards. So he can say he's not part of the royal family and whatever. They've never treated him like part of it. So it's all I would walk out too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's still the fucking prince. You can't just walk away from that.
No. I mean, you can walk away all you want, but the title's still there and it's still going to come around to you if it has to.
And she's put up with a lot.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
Far more public, and we're far more scrutinizing than we were when his dad and Diana got married.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk shit about the royals. You just didn't. Now people talk shit all the time, and that woman has heard nasty shit about herself since the day she met that dude. And I think she's handled it with a lot of class, to be honest. Every once in a while she slips up. Yeah, she does. It's a shitty fucking thing to have to deal with every day, to have the entire world talking about you, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And half the world's calling you the whore that ruined the royal family and shit. Fuck, of course she's gonna slip up once in a while and say something wrong. She's dealt with a lot. Get off her fucking back.
Could not agree more. I really couldn't. So there's a whole thing.
Oh, they say, we're swearing off the royal family. We don't want to. Yeah, you left with $38 million in the bank. My heart's not bleeding for you.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. You guys can crash on my couch. You want to share my craft dinner? Yeah, fuck. She's a very well-known actress, and you're a fucking prince. You're not meeting me in the lineup at the soup kitchen anytime soon.
This next one, Eric, I don't even know what to say about this. What?
Hang on. Let me flip that coin for a minute. If you really wanted to disappear and swear off your family and not be part of it, maybe don't be on TV every fucking day.
It's true, though. It's very true.
I took both sides there.
Yes,
it kind of flip-flopped a little bit at the end. I still love you, but stay off TV if you don't want so much attention.
Yeah. It's not that hard.
It's really not. Stop calling the station and showing up for the interview.
Do you want to know how I know it's not that hard? Ask Tom Cruise. Most famous man in the world. Do you ever see him outside of his house or outside doing anything else other than what he wants to do? No.
Because he's at home flying his own plane and shit
That's right.
all the time, just around his yard because it's probably big enough.
Exactly.
He could probably launch and land a 747 in his backyard. I don't know what his house looks like, but how do we not know what his house looks like?
We
Where
know
the
what it looks
fuck-
like on the outside.
I don't. Where the fuck does Tom Cruise live? I don't even know where he lives.
Oh, I don't know.
How
Wait,
is
take
he
me-
so mysterious?
He's just a very private person.
You don't get to choose that. They beat the fuck out of you. What does he get away? What? Scientology has a weird fucking rule over America.
No denying.
Look at John Travolta. You don't know shit about him either.
No, that's true. Eric, can you give me 2 minutes? I need to pee.
I can just keep talking about Tom Cruise for 2 minutes.
Yeah, keep doing that. I'll be back in a minute.
I don't understand. I don't understand any of this. God bless Gord for bringing up these stories, but they just make me mad. The world just makes me mad. I don't get it anymore. I thought it would get better. I thought things were getting better. I have high hopes for 2021, but it's not looking real good. COVID's fucking things up huge. I thought we would be long past COVID by then. Remember when it was going to be 2 weeks? The Pierce Morgans of the world are the problem. We put way too much emphasis on the opinions of the Pierce Morgans and the Ellen DeGenereses and the Elizabeth Hasselbeck and the Kelly Ripas of the world. Their opinions mean nothing. We give them too much credit for thinking that they have something valuable to say and something we should listen to. We give these fake TV scientists, the Dr. Oz's and the fake fucking people, we're taking their advice, and it's not advice. It's not meant to help you. It's meant to keep you watching television. That's it. Dr. Oz doesn't give a fuck if you live or die. He cares only if you are planted in front of your TV as long as possible so that he can make more money. And they keep making money. We keep making less money every year, but we keep supporting them and thinking that somehow they give a fuck about us and we might get some sort of payment back from them. You never will. You will never see a dime from these fucking vampires. They don't care about you. Dr. Tam, Dr. Who is it in BC? Fucking, I forget her name now because I don't give a fuck. This Dr. Fauci, this Dr. Tam, they don't give a fuck if you live or die. They just want you to keep watching TV. That's it. That's all that matters to them. And they will never give back a penny. You get no benefit from putting your faith in these fucking vampires.
I agree.
So just think a little bit. Pay attention to the right people. Sorry.
Oh man, thank you for allowing me that break. Holy fuck, I was starting to sweat urine there for a minute.
You didn't eat. Could have kept going another 10 minutes, probably.
So this next one, I'll just get it out first, and then we'll discuss it after. So the New York Times.
Oh God, no, sorry.
They've released a report that said that the U.S. is planning a response to the hacking of the SolarWinds software that happened in the U.S. The thing that basically shut down part of a big solar section in the U.S. It was the Russians that did it.
something like part of Microsoft or something too.
I
Just bad.
believe so.
Anyway,
Um,
not
well,
important.
so the New York Times has released a statement saying that the U.S. is planning on basically they're going to send in their own hackers to hack Russia as like a payback thing.
Well, at least as long as we're doing it on the sly like that.
And this is what I'm thinking, like, if it's true, I'm all for free press and all, but at some point you need to understand the difference between free press and I'm going to help cause a world war.
Or I'm going to make sure it doesn't work because now Russia knows. Like, you think they don't read the New York Times in Russia? You fucking retards.
Right? Like, so of course, Dmitry Peskov, who is the Kremlin spokesman, said that this is alarming information. This would be pure international cybercrime because they're so innocent.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, don't act all I'm shocked and appalled. This is cybercrime. It's a retaliation. It's a response to your cybercrime you just committed. So don't play. So you had me for a minute there, guys. Booty pie.
Now,
sorry,
so the interesting thing is now it says here, the FBI and the NSA and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, they have said that the hacking appeared to be a part of an intelligence gathering and suggested the evidence so far points to a Russian spying effort rather than an attempt to damage or disrupt government operations. They say, quote, likely it's Russian in origin, is responsible for most or all of the recently discovered ongoing cyber comprises both of government and non-governmental networks. It's a serious compromise that will require sustained and dedicated effort to remediate. Russia has denied it. Obviously,
it's a very well-paying and respected job in Russia. They've got giant factories full of hackers who just hack all day long.
Yep, and same with China. China's doing the same thing, and for the record, same with the U.S.
I would say Russia has they're right. It's usually Russia. They've got a pretty good advantage in that game.
Well, I mean,
wait, if they did that, that would be a cyber crime. I've never heard of such a thing.
You can't do that. So I just fuck you, New York Times. First of all, just fuck you.
Well, this is what they
fuck you up your dumbasses.
Hey, we're stoking the flames because Biden wants a war.
Yeah.
So that's a really good way to test the water and voter opinion and all that. This is a Cold War. That's how that works. So let's fucking beat that horse a little more. Hey, let's bring back the Cold War.
That's what we want.
It's pointless. We know Russia's not a threat. If Russia was a threat in any way, if they could do something, they fucking would. If those hackers were there to do something damaging, they would have done something horribly damaging.
That's right.
You see, they didn't, and someday they will.
Yeah.
But for now, they're just checking in. They're trying to send the message, hey, we can check in whenever we want, just so you know.
Yeah, we have the ability.
We can do this. We're in your building. We're watching you. Now, this was either the government wanting everyone to know about it, so they went to the New York Times and released it as a New York Times thing as the government's way of telling the world what was going on, or the New York Times should be charged with fucking treason.
That's where I'm leaning towards.
They don't care because they're one of the last 50 newspapers that still exist in the world, and they'll do whatever they can to get the story.
Yep.
They don't care how many lives it jeopardizes.
No.
It's good. It sells newspapers. It gets clicks online. It's clickbait.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Have a little bit of fucking integrity. Remember when that meant something in the press? That's what I was saying while you were in the bathroom, Gordon. They used to give way too much credence to the Piers Morgans of the world and their fucking opinion. The press used to mean something. It used to be something we looked to for answers.
Yeah, they were admired, respected. Not anymore. That doesn't exist.
Now, granted, it does happen sometimes that the government will go to a newspaper and say, hey, release this story. It's their way of, and then we blame the press, but really it's the government's way of getting information out that they don't really want to talk about.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff gets released, all that. I'm sure a newspaper doesn't go out, an article probably doesn't go out without government permission, or instruction.
Yeah.
But in this case, I don't know. I don't know that, like, I just don't know that doesn't cause damage. What if
I don't see the advantage of America releasing saying, I think we should let the Russians know that this is what we're going to do. I don't see the upside to it for the government.
Oh, the upside is because they're planning to do something exact opposite. And now Russia is waiting for this big cyber attack. But really, the naval SEALs are going to come up their ass in a different way.
Yeah, there you go. Misdirection.
Absolutely.
I almost feel bad talking about this right now in case we're revealing too much.
Oh, yeah. If this is the one Putin actually sends us an email. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. We just caught 20 fucking Navy SEAls coming up the riverbank. Thanks, guys.
God. How bad would I feel for about 12 minutes?
Until fucking Kremlin fucking hands you a check.
Yeah. No, this would be my emotion. Oh, my God. I fucking told you so. More people should listen to Eric and Gordon.
Yeah.
Yes, we are right. Like, that's the one where we... Oh, my God. Guess what? Joe Rogan loses a whole bunch of money that day. Spotify starts calling. I guarantee it.
If Putin sends me a check, you can guarantee I will be fucking posting pictures.
Our ratings.
There's the proof.
You know how many fucking sponsorship offers we get then?
Oh, yeah. Russian soaps and...
Oh, America's going to want it. Hey, what's the next big thing? We got to listen to Eric and Gordon. They just put the New York Times out of business. Sorry.
That's funny.
Hey, Piers Morgan, you need a job? I'm looking for a cleaning lady twice a week. You could come to the apartment. I am.
Go ahead.
I think I might have hired one, so don't worry about it. Never mind.
Did you hear that Mexico is on the verge of passing a massive cannabis bill?
Yes. That's been going on for quite some time, but it's tremendously difficult to get legislation like that passed in Mexico. It's a very slow process. So update me as to where they're at.
Well, so right now, the full chamber of the Mexican lower house is expected to discuss and vote on a bill this week that would decriminalize cannabis, and a move that, if passed, would make the country one of the world's largest markets for the drug. It is back.
They have traditionally terrible weed in Mexico. That's why they love ours.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're fucking garbage. Theirs sucks. So under if this goes through, part of the thing that's on this the draft bill is people 18 years or older with a permit may grow, carry, or consume cannabis and its derivatives, all of them. So it's not just, unlike Canada, which are a bunch of fucking morons in this country. You can do the CBDs, the oils, the tinctures, the concentrates, everything about it. It's all going to be legal. So you can have that. You can carry around up to 28 grams for personal consumption. At home, they can grow up to 6 plants, but only 8 plants are permitted in shared residences. So if 2 people in the same house both have the cards, you can't grow 12 plants.
That makes a lot of sense. That's a quick way to stop a whole bunch of people who just, oh, no, we live together and have 24 plants.
Exactly. Quite genius. So it says here the Health and Justice Committees approved the bill, which easily passed the Senate in a vote in November and would create a huge new legal market for cannabis that companies are eager to tap into, obviously.
How many of these government officials are taking bribes from drug cartels, but they're having so much trouble passing this cannabis bill?
I think this is one of the things because, you got to remember, once this and this is one of the big things is where they tried doing this in Canada. Once it becomes legal, the point of making it legal is to eliminate the street crime for it.
Yeah, but you're not the street crime for cannabis in a country run by El Chapo.
The cocaine cartels. It's a little,
You're not hurting the drug trade by legalizing cannabis in Mexico. I'm sorry.
No, no. I mean, what they are going to do is if this does go through, what will happen is you will see a massive boom in quality of cannabis coming out of Mexico, because all these countries, like all these businesses in Canada that were trying to do the startup, but because Trudeau's a fucking twat nobbler, doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and he's fucked it all up for everybody. These companies are all going to go down and invest in Mexico. And they're going to be taking all their technology, all the skills that they have. They're going to take in that beautiful climate that's down there, and they're going to make a fucking fortune.
You know what? One of my first tasks at Tommy Guns was, for about a week, emptying our shelves and reboxing up all the CBD infused products that we're not allowed to sell.
Yeah.
But we had stocked thousands of dollars worth in anticipation of when we were going to be allowed to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
But the regulations in the healthcare department never panned out, like health and beauty stuff. So this was like every product you could get, a beard balm, a shampoo, a deodorant. We had CBD infused everything. Yeah. And I shipped back dozens of boxes of shit that it was illegal to sell.
Now, the crazy thing about this, if this does happen and that goes through, the U.S. is now sandwiched between two countries that have decriminalized and legalized weed.
Not just sandwiched between two countries, but also hosting 38 states where it's legal.
Where it's legal, that's right. So it'll be interesting to see if Biden pushes for this within his first 4 years about a countrywide legalized fucking weed across the country.
I don't think he does. I
don't think he will either.
I think you're going to see the American federal government dig their heels in and just be shitty about this for as long as they can.
Yeah. I still can't believe it took Trump to legalize hemp in the US. I still can't get over that. Trump, of all people.
It makes perfect sense that it's illegal. Because they rely, it's an oil, they love their oil.
Yeah.
And hemp, the only reason hemp was ever made illegal was because it
threatened the oil.
He ran on hemp oil.
Yeah.
And we would have ruined the oil industry had we continued with hemp.
Which is so weird, because if instead of these guys investing in oil, if they just invested in hemp, they would probably have more money.
Likely, yeah.
No bad press, no downside, no disasters, no lawsuits. Like, I just talk about missing the mark and fucking making the wrong choice.
There's had to be money involved somewhere. Someone with too much influence had money.
Yeah.
And something, because it makes no sense. You're right that the market for hemp is way bigger.
It's for everything. Like, literally, it's not only all the stuff that you can use oil for can be replaced with hemp. But
Oh,
it's all the stuff that oil can't be used for can be replaced with hemp.
It makes me think pharmaceutical companies were involved because of the tremendously bad health effects of oil, or the bad health effects of a lot of things that hemp would improve.
Yeah.
You put that whole, a lot of cancer never happens if hemp is used instead. And that puts a tremendous amount of people out of work and a lot of money out of people's pockets. Solving problems costs bad people, so they don't want problems solved.
Yeah.
Cops don't want crime to stop because then we don't need cops anymore.
Yep.
The people who run all the aid societies in the downtown east side of Vancouver don't want the drug problem to stop because then they're all out of jobs tomorrow. So they do things to perpetuate the problem so that they can stay employed and continue to get government funding. The people who invent cancer drugs don't want cancer to go away.
Hence why there's never been a cure.
Exactly. The people who make COVID vaccines don't want to admit that COVID doesn't matter. Because then they don't make money off their vaccine. And hemp is such a solution to everything that a whole bunch of very rich people would not be rich had it proliferated the way it should have.
Yeah.
Had just one smart person had the foresight. A whole bunch of shitty, dumb people would be broke instead of stupidly, massively rich.
It's just insane.
That's the way our planet operates. We don't want to solve things. We don't want the Middle East to settle down. We don't want cancer to go away. We all go broke.
There's no peace and there's no money in peace.
No money in peace. War is very profitable. Cancer, profit. Homelessness, starvation. Poor people getting hurt all the time is very good business for rich people.
Yep.
It's a sick.
It's a fucked up thing.
I don't know how many times a thing like hemp gets trumped on and we go, what? That makes no sense. Yeah, it does. To the people who have money, it makes perfect sense.
Yep. And ironically enough, the bulk of these same people that are, it's like every other thing. Every time when a government makes a law against something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, the people making the laws are doing that thing that they're saying you shouldn't.
100%.
All the time. Gay laws.
Might not ever be prime minister. Because the things they say make too much fucking sense.
That's right.
Why does it take 15 seconds to take money from me, but 10 days to give it back? Because somebody's making money in those 10 days.
Yeah. That money needs to be invested, played with, exposed, hidden, buried, put into a tin can.
But if you just listen to me and Gordon, figured out that if I had that money back, it'd be back in the economy making money right now. If we were all happy and not terrified all the time and we were driving hemp-run automobiles and nobody ever had cancer, we'd all spend more money and you'd get more rich.
Yeah.
You still get rich. You don't have to be evil.
Yeah.
We'll still make you rich for dumb like that.
You can make a tremendous amount of money and you don't have to be evil about it. You just don't. It's not that hard.
You know who would probably spend a lot of money in the world economy? Iranians, if we quit bombing them. They're happy, friendly, spendy people. Why don't we all just get along and be rich together? Why do some people have to suffer because you're scared of losing a few dollars? Like Gord said, if you only ever had $1 billion, you still couldn't spend it before you died.
Yeah.
Maybe give away, just try it. Somebody try it. Somebody be the guy who proves us right and see how easy it is.
Well, it's funny. Bill Gates donates how many billions every year he donates for money for different charities, stuff like that. But he does it. But what's the first thing that says? Well, it's not real, or he's donating it so he can get this back. It's no win.
There is the argument, so a tremendous amount of the people he's helped get vaccinated have died. It's kids in Africa, they die from starvation and shit, so the vaccines really aren't, it's a skewed number, but still, he's not helping as many people as he'd like to think he is.
I just said he donates money. I didn't say he was helping anybody.
Sure, that little baby didn't die of malaria, but he did get eaten by a hyena because he lives in fucking Africa. Not so good. Yeah, but Bill Gates gave away half his fucking money. And guess what? Still got twice as much as anybody else ever will.
He's still the number 2 or 3 richest person in the world, so
he's up there. Yeah, it's Bezos and Elon jockey back and forth between 1 and 2 every day.
Yeah.
Which already it makes it like Elon Musk. He literally lost like $27 billion and then got it back in the last 2 days. Like that's when I'm not worried about you. Then you're fine.
Yeah.
Why? Who cares?
I mean, Bitcoin went from 46,000. We're back up to 54,000 again, US. So that's how he got his money back. That's where he lost it in the first place.
Can't access mine right now. I'm locked out of it because of this fucking Captivate.fm thing. Yay, podcast.
Fuck.
But yeah, it went it got to like 38 or something.
I know. I didn't think it dropped down below 40, but I know it did drop down low, considering it was just almost 60.
It'll be right back. It's climbing. It's
already over 54,000 again. So it already went up by a 10,000 jump.
Gord's gonna have 100. I'm gonna have 10. Woo! What do you mean? $10,000. That's not even what I'm gonna owe the government next year, but I'll talk about that all year.
Yep.
Oh
fuck.
Gord sounds tired.
Gord's hit a wall.
He starts touching his face, and then the show's over.
It's true.
And that's cool. It's been a good long one. It's almost 2 hours. So, kids, don't listen to Pierce Morgan in the next 24 hours. And 24 hours from now, Gordon and I are going to have our season. We're going to say goodbye. And by the time we come back in season 4, there's no more COVID and everything's run on him. I promise.
That's it. Sounds like a plan to me.
Maybe. Don't be that. But until all that happens, try to take care of each other.
Let me think here. Fuck everybody except for our listeners. You guys.
If you're in Japan, don't eat seafood.
If you're in Japan, get out. Just don't go to Chicago. I mean, you guys are kind of tiny, so you don't have to duck as far. So that's nice.
It's true. Don't duck quite as far. That's why Japanese cars are so good, because they're so short. Their faces are closer to the assembly line. They can see what they're doing better.
So funny. All right, I'm out.
It's true. Good night, everybody.
Night, brother. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
You too.
I'll tell you about my financial woes tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll go see if we can start a little bit earlier tomorrow. We'll talk.
That's good. Peace.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.
Please be advised that this podcast is meant for educational and informational purposes only and is in no way a replacement for legal or medical advice. The opinions contained within are solely those of the interviewers and interviewees and should be received as so. Those seeking help or advice are encouraged to obtain professional legal and medical services.